they've asked how they can access the meeting, so we'll make sure to make that available through for them as well as anyone else who may want to watch it through the clan's YouTube channel. As we do get started, like I said, we want to start on time. If you could just do us a huge favor, and if everyone could mute your microphone when you're not speaking, that'll just make it a little bit clearer for those that that are speaking. But then certainly, if you have a question or if there's something that we can address, please unmute yourself and maybe kind of just give us a little wave, and we'll make sure to try to answer as many questions as possible while we're going through the next hour and 15 minutes. Any questions so far?
Is everybody on the, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi,
Thank you.
I'm Patrice O'Malley Miller, and I'm a newly known Irish person that found her family in Mayo. So it's very exciting. I'm from Long Island. And is everybody from different places in the United States that's going to be on this, or just all over everywhere?
Patrice, that's a really, really good question. We are going to take some time and ask for, through our agenda, we are going to take some time and ask for people to do kind of quick introductions. We may not have a chance for everybody to get a chance to give us a little bit of their history. But certainly if you don't have a chance to give us kind of a little bit more about yourself during the beginning of the agenda, we're going to take some time towards the end of the agenda. This particular meeting is for the USA chapter of the O'Malley clan. That being said, we have several people, that are just incredibly supportive of this effort with us from the clan in Ireland. I mean, just shout out to them. They are staying up until midnight to be a part of this. Or I just cannot even cannot even express enough appreciation for them doing that and being here
Fabulous.
for this inaugural Zoom meeting. So to go ahead and get started with the agenda, the first thing that we're going to jump into are the annual gatherings. We're going to talk a little bit about what a gathering actually is, and talk about those who have been a part. I apologize. I'm already getting ahead of ourselves. First thing we're going to do are the introductions. Um, Cormac, Sean, and myself will take a few minutes to introduce ourselves, and then we're going to ask three members of the O'Malley clan who are joining us from Ireland to introduce themselves as well. So Cormac, if you want to go ahead and get started, please.
Yeah, let me just say a couple of words. I was born in Ireland to an Irish and an American parents. I came over here when my father died. Was educated here, went into the U.S. Navy, and after that, married an Irish American. I have two children and have lived here more or less ever since, apart from my stay abroad, my professions abroad. My first start in the clan started in 1963. And, I think I just encourage everyone to come to the first clan if they haven't been there, because it all starts there with the meetings, with the friendships that you continue throughout your life. And I got involved in the 1970s and early 80s when I lived in Brussels and London and had sort of 12 years of attending most all of the clan meetings. Um, and so the gatherings then were smaller than they have been recently, but always filled with joy. I became chieftain in 1994, 95, and they participated in sort of the clan journal and the newsletter. We developed a trust, the O'Malley Trust, which has since gone into disuse because we didn't have the internet at the time, which really facilitates things like that. Wherever I've traveled, particularly in Australia, New Zealand, I'd lift the telephone book, call all the O'Malleys I found, and within 2 days, I'd have a clan meeting gathered in some local bar. So what I wanted to say is the gathering is all about, at least from the gatherings, I've learned about Irish history, the clan history, and friendship. So I encourage everyone to start on that process.
Thank, thank you so much, Cormac. Really good advice that we all needed to hear. Sean, would you mind telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. It started with genealogy. I wanted to know like more about Irish heritage from my father's side, and also was hoping to get a passport, but that didn't work out. But I got it from my father, and what happened was an Australian was traveling through the U.S. and we found out through him that there's this thing called the Mally Rally clan gathering, and we're like, oh, what's that? And he goes, I'm going to it. And so he went that year, 1999, I guess. And so we went on the year 2000. My parents and myself, my brother, and it was there. And I brought my pipes. I'm a bagpiper, and so I checked it out first. Like, yeah, sure, bring them. And the clan has always seemed to have a clan piper at the rallies. So I was able to pipe then with then at the time was Owen O'Malley was the clan piper. And I don't know if I can share my screen. There's one picture I want to share. Um, Window. Sorry about that. Well, I'll just describe it. It turns out that Owen said after we were done piping, he's like, you need to come back to next rally next year, 2001. And I'm like, why is that? And he goes, because I'm the chieftain. I can't pipe myself in. You'll need to pipe me in, which I did. But long and story here is, I'll cut it short, is for me, going to a clan thing, like changed everything because I ended up meeting my wife there. And so like my kids have O'Malley on both sides. It's unique, but anyway, my wife Siobhan is here with me, so
Hey there, how's it going?
she grew up in Mayo.
Oh,
Yeah, our kids are double O'Malley's.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
they're doubly blessed.
Yes.
Exactly.
So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much, your wife, for joining. That was absolutely wonderful. So I really appreciate a couple of the participants tonight saying that they didn't know a lot about their family. It makes me feel like we're in good company because, like Sean, I discovered the O'Malley Clan Association through genealogy and through researching my family. I chose the picture that you see on the screen of myself because the sad truth is 7 years prior to this picture being taken, and it was just taken a few weeks ago, I did not know who Grace O'Malley was. I had never heard of her, and she's what I would consider now our family matriarch, and I had no knowledge of her rich history and her place within history and in the force that she was and continues to be. Coupled with that, I didn't know that this bar exists. This is a bar that's about 45 minutes from my house. And until I, really kind of leaned into that, to the Irish culture and to the resources that were available for people to gather, I didn't even know that this bar existed. And so it's only through genealogy that is, I've kind of gotten involved in this organization. But even though genealogy brought me here, for about 5 of the last 7 years, I was just and I still am just some, random person from the US that would email Don occasionally, and he would be incredibly professional and polite and timely in his email responses. And Don is our current clan chieftain. And I cannot tell you what that meant to me, what that kind of the connection with this organization meant to me over those years. And then Denise, our former chieftain, took the time to meet with me when I was traveling to Ireland. And honestly, it was I'm not exaggerating, it was the highlight of the about 8 days, 8 or 9 days that my son spent there, to have, again, that personal connection, that someone cared enough to sit down and talk. And it's from that point that I've really tried to understand more of the country as a whole, more of the culture, and just develop kind of a richer experience. And it was only from the kindness and they met me where I was at, which was knowing virtually nothing. And they've helped, just helped educate me. And I hope that that's what, we can do here through these virtual meetings, is, to kind of repay their kindness over the past 5 to 7 years. So whether or not you've ever heard of Grace O'Malley, welcome. We are incredibly grateful that you're here tonight. We're really looking forward to just continuing to meet on a regular basis and help each other as we continue along our genealogy and our O'Malley family journey. So there's 3 people that are joining us from Ireland. If you don't mind, I would like to ask each of you just to do a short introduction of yourselves. The first one I had already mentioned is our current chief, Don O'Malley. Don, would you mind jumping in and just telling us a little bit about your family history, a little bit about yourself?
Sorry, I was on mute there, Kathy.
No.
Thanks for hosting, by the way. This is great. Great to meet all the folks. And one thing I want to say before I say anything else, I recognize an awful lot of the names on the participants list. I deal with memberships, so I see all these names that I see in emails every now and again, and it's great to see to put faces to names that I haven't actually met before. So it's great. This is my first gig actually as clan chieftain. I took over from Denise only a week yesterday, so go easy on me. Um, yeah, I'm Don. I'm from a small little place called Maru in Limerick, in kind of the Midwest of Ireland, I suppose you'd call it. Um, yeah, so born and raised here, this is where I've always been. Got involved in the clan, I suppose, through my dad and my elder brother. My dad was chieftain about 11 years ago, I think it was. So I just got roped in basically, like you do on these things. I got roped in to help him with the technological side of things, emails, social media posts, and the newsletter. The newsletter is our regular monthly newsletter. So that's how I got roped into it, and I've basically been at it ever since. So just to say, like this initiative on the US chapter, um, it's a great idea, and it's great to say thanks so much to Kathy and Sean and Cormac, former Chieftain Cormac as well, um, for getting this up and running. Um, and it's something that hopefully we can get to take off, not just in the US, but in the UK, maybe one down in Australia or New Zealand, that area, around Europe possibly, that we can have a few of these, and it'll all feed into the overall clan organization then as well. Um, so yeah, my first gig, go easy on me.
Absolutely. Yes, Don. We also realize that it is midnight your time.
And
So,
it's warm for wearing a blanket, by the way. This I have the cloak on and all here. It's
oh.
still very warm here at this hour of the night.
Oh, well, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you being here and your time and taking the time to give us a little bit of your family history. Brendan is our guardian chieftain. Brendan, we would love to learn a little bit more about you and your position and your family history.
Sure. Thanks, Kathy. I guess the first question is probably what's a guardian chieftain? The idea right from the very beginning back in 1953 when the association was formed was to have someone who had the responsibility of kind of continuity from year to year. The chieftain holds office only for a year. The guardian chieftain has the term now of 4 years. So it's a question of just helping to make sure we don't have any discontinuities and jumps and things like that. My first gathering that I went to was in the middle 1960s when my father was chieftain. I was only 15, and we sailed into Carrigaholy Castle, and I was junior crew on his small sailing dinghy. But we made a bit of a stir by arriving by sea. I never really got into the gatherings after that until about, I don't know, 15 years ago or so, I started going again. In fact, as Don said, when his dad was chieftain, he was getting into genealogy, and they asked me to help out from my side of the family, and I kind of have been doing it ever since. But I just wanted to make a couple of points. One, very quickly, One is that in 1953 they got together, or well, a couple of years before that, to raise money to restore a castle, and that was the objective of it. They got enough money together. They all came together to see the restored castle, and it's been going on ever since. So something much more important and long lasting grew out of it, other than just one restoration project. And you never know what's going to happen. I know there've been physical get-togethers in Chicago, in Boston, in New York at various times, and I'm sure there are many others that I'm not aware of. And given, as Cormac pointed out, that we didn't have the internet, these were physical get-togethers. People were told about them by old-fashioned letters that went through the postal system. But COVID taught us that those kind of things don't always work, and also we know you can't have every O'Malley from all around the world able to travel, given the cost of travel and so on, to show up at gigs. So the idea of the internet, we've been using it under Don's leadership for things like social media, newsletters, and so on, and the website. But maybe there are other ways in which we can combine physical get-togethers with the internet, some other forms of communication. So the whole notion that that Kathy and Sean and Cormac have kicked off in the US is kind of something we hope. We don't know what will come out of it, but we know that there's the potential for lots of good stuff to come out of it, and it's something that hopefully all of you collectively can help to build something new, and we're really supported and delighted to see that. I know I was supposed to talk a little bit about me, but I just wanted to make that point first. Very briefly, I'm an engineer. I worked in various companies, a lot of US multinational companies, electronics manufacturing, computers, that sort of stuff. But I'm very happily retired now, and that means I get to have time to cause trouble for the current chieftain and do website stuff and all of that. And it's really, I enjoy it very much. And I just want to add one thing to what Don said. It's great not alone to see some familiar names on here, but some familiar faces too. I noticed Fred there, who did those terrific badges for a couple of years. So great to see you again, Fred, and Patrice. I think we had some dealings at one point when we were trying to get some internet stuff going. So I wish this initiative all the best, and I hope you're very successful with it.
Thank you, Brendan, so well. I really appreciate what you said about the fact that we need everyone that is here tonight. This will only be a success with everyone participating, no matter what level you participate in it. We need you, and we hope that you'll stick with us throughout over the course of the next couple of years as this continues to evolve. We are very blessed to have our former chieftain, Denise O'Malley, as well. Denise, if you don't mind, if you could give just a little bit of an introduction to yourself and maybe a family history, whatever you would like to share. Like I said, Denise is our former chieftain. She recently hosted the gathering that occurred in Ennis. I believe that her family is from County Clare. Denise, are you able to give us a little bit more insight?
She may be on mute.
Okay.
It looks like she's not on mute, but she might have a technical difficulty. Now she's muted.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay.
Now she's unmuted.
So I believe that she's also going to talk about her recent gathering during the next segment. So perhaps at that point, she can tell us a little bit about her family history. But she has a very long, very rich family history with the O'Malley clan, has been very active, and obviously as a former chieftain was instrumental in preparing the gathering, the very successful gathering in Ennis. And that leads us right into the next segment. Sean, can you tell us a little bit about what the gatherings are, and then we'll go a little bit into the past, present, and future gatherings with Cormac and Middleton and a few others talking about, past, present, and future gatherings.
Sure. So the first off, the gatherings are an annual event held once a year. It's usually at the end of June each year, so you can put that in your calendar. The last weekend, and it's usually 3 days. And the chieftain will pick an area for the gathering, and they'll it's a fair amount of work to organize one of these. And so throughout the year, they're preparing for that weekend, and people come from all over to O'Malley's come from all over to participate, and it's a lot of fun. There's a variety of activities for folks to participate in, and then well, actually, I think as I guess Cormac, you'll speak to the past gatherings. You can probably tease out some of those, what happened, and how rich going to a gathering is for you, especially there's a genealogy section. So if you're interested in genealogy, you're going to love to learn more about that. But there's also there's eating. That's always a good thing. Music and museums, history. It's and then the wonderful being in Ireland is just wonderful. So the people and the sites are just tremendous. So with that said, Cormac, could you speak to the past gatherings?
Yeah, I think when I first went in
my name is Denise O'Malley. I'm married to John Kelly. And
she's in recording.
Hi, Denise. We would love to hear a little bit about your family history. Okay.
Yes,
So
can
I
you hear
think
me,
that,
Kathy?
yeah, yes, perfect. Thank you so much. We can hear you.
No, I'm not on mute.
No, we can hear you. You're good.
Oh dear.
You're in and out.
Denise, we can hear you. So unfortunately, I think that there's an internet lag.
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. Yes, Denise, we can hear you. Yes. I'm so sorry. We can't hear you. I'm so sorry. I think that there's an internet issue. So, Denise, let us know. Just jump in whenever you can. And then, Cormac, if you don't mind giving us a little bit more history about the past gatherings.
Sure, yes. When my first gathering was in 1963, it was sort of a Sunday lunch, really, after Mass. And I remember saying, why don't we publicize this so people abroad would get to know? And the response was, Jesus, that's a lot of organization. No, we all know that it's the last weekend in June, and that's it.
I know.
We don't need to do
Kathy.
anything else.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
No.
Thank you for persevering.
Oh, good. My name is Denise O'Malley. Oh, good. My name is Denise O'Malley. I'm married to John. You can hear me or you can't?
We can.
Yes.
We can.
Oh, dear. You can hear me now, can you?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that better?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Perfect.
I'm after. There does seem to be a lag, Kathy. John Kelly, and I live on the Kerry border. In no, I'm going to move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely perfect. Thank you so much.
I'm out in the sticks in the middle of the country, so it's the first time. Sticks in the middle of the country, so it's the first time I've had an issue. It's the first time I've had an issue. My name is Denise O'Malley. I'm married to John. Can you hear me or you can't? I'm sorry, guys. It's not going to work. You can hear me now, can you?
No,
Can you hear me? I'm after.
Okay.
You like Kathy.
So Sean, are you able to mute Denise because we're getting that reverb? Okay. Cormac, so I'm so sorry to keep bouncing back and forth.
No problem. No, as I say, we went on from sort of meeting after the mass to what had become basically Saturday and a Sunday, and now we've come into a 3-day weekend, starting on Friday afternoon, having all day Saturday, and then having the O'Malley Mass on a Sunday, followed by the annual general meeting and the election of the new chieftain. Also, during this period, what we would do, we'd have lectures and receptions on Friday evening. And on Saturday, at one point, we were into sports and fishing in Clew Bay, or golf in the local golf courts. We established a bus tour, which got many of our members to see the local sites, and we got a guide to take us around. And then the rest of the weekend was based on other social events. So we've expanded from where we started in relatively small terms to a much larger one. And I think Brendan mentioned, and during COVID, we did everything electronically over worldwide Zoom, which went on for, I think it was 2 or 3 hours. And we did lectures on the Zoom, etc. So the great thing about the annual event is that we know when it is. It's always the last weekend in June, and we know where it is, which is near the home of the chieftain usually. In my case, since I'm an American, I actually did not have it in America. I brought it back to where I'm from, which is in Newport, County Mayo. So we went between Burjul Abbey, where I had the Mass, Westport, where we had a dinner and an event in Newport. So the chieftain is able to pick where to go. Anyway, so that's just part of what we do, and it's always been most enjoyable. So over and out.
Thank you so much, Cormac. Is Middleton with us? Mitty, would you mind telling if you're with us a little bit about your gathering? Middleton is a former chieftain. Okay, so if he is able, maybe he'll chime in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the gathering that I just attended. As I mentioned, it was arranged by our former chieftain, Denise O'Malley. It was in Ennis County, Clare. I just got back about 5 days ago from the gathering. The perspective that I bring to tonight's discussion is that it was my first gathering. I'd never been to it, had been interested in going for a couple of years, but just, always felt like there were other things that I'd not made it a priority. I cannot tell you how glad I am that I made it a priority. In the there, I have included hyperlinks in this PowerPoint presentation, and what you will receive a copy of it in the mail. I'm sorry, you will receive a copy of it in the email, and then when you receive it, you will be able to access the information that we are going to occasionally access through these hyperlinks. We'll just go ahead. I'm just going to do a quick, kind of presentation through this Google photo album. The first photo that I have included, I apologize, it's just taking a minute to load, is simply information about the gathering that just occurred. It was just an event that I'm incredibly grateful that I was able to attend for a variety of reasons, which I'll try to quickly summarize. Denise opened the gathering up on a Friday evening. It was, kind of in a beautiful setting, gorgeous hotel, of course. And then throughout that evening, we were just able to get an insight into kind of the O'Malley genealogy and O'Malley family history. I I equate it to my experience, or my takeaway from the gathering is under Denise's leadership, under the Chieftains' leadership, she assembled the best players in O'Malley family history. I mean, kind of the best of the best. I felt like at the end of the evening, I felt like I did when when I was younger. My husband and I were first dating. We used to go see Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen play, at the Chicago Bulls. I live about 45 minutes away from Chicago. And I felt like I had seen no matter what your favorite team is, I left that gathering on Friday evening feeling like I had just seen my favorite team playing. But not only did I get to see them play, I got to the people that were there, the players that were there, they talked to me. They talked to everyone. They talked to everyone. They were kind. They were, it was an educational experience. It was an interesting, valuable experience. And I cannot overemphasize what a phenomenal team Denise, in a whole weekend, Denise put together. It was just kind of mind blowing. One of the first speakers was Ann Chambers. I believe that she is considered kind of the preeminent source, or authority on Ann Chambers. She has written this book, simply called Grace O'Malley. If you have not read her book, I would highly encourage you to read her book. Again, about kind of our family's matriarch. Not only did Ann Chambers speak, we also have Dr. Morris Gleason. This is just a picture of him sitting with a couple, literally, I think it was between 11 and 12:30 at night. He is helping this gentleman with his family tree and with his genealogy. And I'm just hearing this second, but it's my understanding that some great progress was made, and more exciting information to come. And the fact that Dr. Gleason was there and spoke and took the time to interact with many, many people just really says a lot about how important the Family Tree DNA O'Malley Clan Project is. We also heard author Brian O'Malley speak about his book, How James Became King, about a person named James O'Malley that actually lived in the United States for a good portion. He was born in maybe Canada, but lived in the United States for a good portion of his life. So like I said, really kind of the best out of the best players in O'Malley family genealogy history. There is a little bit of, as Sean alluded to, a little bit of dancing and cultural aspect to the gathering itself as well. Just, I think the saying would be good crack, good, a lot of fun and excitement. There was a wonderful gala dinner as well. Music, both Friday and Saturday evenings with music. Including this picture. Because there was a raffle, and people did win prizes. This is just a bottle of gin. That was one. I think it's called Granuale gin. That was one, and of course, we all like winning prizes. But more importantly, during the meeting, I believe around $1,000 was raised to go to a hospice in the area. And as educational and interesting, as informative, making what I would anticipate maybe lifelong friends. Another takeaway was that something genuinely positive happened through through the raising of funds, kind of an altruistic aspect of the gathering as well. And then this is a really small portion of the United States citizens that came to the gathering. We kind of grabbed a quick picture. It was wonderful to be among future friends at the gathering. And then towards the end of it, our current chieftain Don was made chieftain. And I really love this picture because to me, it speaks family. And whether or not you're at the gathering with actual family members or extended, we're all part of the O'Malley family. We're all related some way, somehow. We may not have quite discovered yet how we're related, but we're all family. And I love that this picture really exemplifies the importance of family at the gathering.
Very well said.
Denise,
thank you, Kathy.
Oh, Thank you, Denise. Yay, you're here. Would you be able to tell us a little bit
I
about
went
this?
on my mobile phone, would you believe? I dumped the laptop and I went on my mobile.
Thank you.
So,
Would you be able to tell us a little bit about this, maybe the structure of the gathering or really any other insight?
yeah, you've covered it very well, Kathy. The structure of the gathering is roughly the same every year. We have, as you said, we have the guest speakers. We have some sort of music. So in my case, I had a Kaylee and the Straw Boys. And on the Saturday, then there's always a bus tour and maybe an AGM or a guest speaker. And then we would have the gala dinner, the Chieftains gala dinner. And then the Sunday, we have a beautiful mass, sometimes in the ruins of an old abbey, but this year we had it in the cathedral in Ennis. And then we had our AGM and we elected our new Taoiseach, who will be chieftain after Don. And then we had Sunday lunch, and Don was inaugurated then around 3:30 on the Sunday. So that's basically every year is roughly the same structure, but it's up to the chieftain to put their own touch or just their own touch on the weekend. So I worked extremely hard. I did hundreds and hundreds of hours, but it paid off. And you mentioned the team, yourself, Brendan, and Don were the three of you were on my subcommittee, and I really did have the dream team, I must say. I was very, very fortunate. So just my background, I'm the eighth of my family to be chieftain of the O'Malley clan. Two granduncles and four cousins and myself and my dad. It's the 50th anniversary of when my father, Michael, was chieftain. So he was actually inaugurated on the 4th of July, 1976. So I just celebrated the 50th anniversary of his inauguration. So yeah, it's a wonderful tradition. I'm going to the gathering since I was a kid in the late 70s. And we've been going on and off ever since. So it's a beautiful way of meeting people with the same last name as yourself. And I lived a lot throughout the country, and we were literally the only O'Malley in the village. So it was lovely to connect with O'Malleys every year. So other than that, Kathy, you've covered everything extremely well. Thank you.
Thank you. Don or Brendan, would you be available to tell us a little bit about the gathering for next year in Steen, County Kerry?
I guess that's Don's gig. So over to you, Don.
Now, of course, like we're still in the planning stages. Okay, obviously it's 12 months away. Now, just on something that Cormac mentioned as well, the annual gathering is usually, but not always, the last weekend in June. Next year it'll actually be the third weekend in June, the 18th to the 20th. Um, so like we have a winning formula as Denise was talking about there, the various events. We usually have a reception on the Friday evening, maybe a couple of guest speakers, some nice music, some nice food, few pints. People can kick back and enjoy themselves. Then Saturday, usually a bus tour to some local historic sites or places of interest, that type of stuff. And then Saturday evening, a nice gala dinner. Who doesn't like a nice dinner? And then some nice music to round off the Saturday evening. Sunday, then it's mass, an AGM, either on the Saturday evening or on the Sunday, and Sunday lunch then, and then we get a new chieftain. That's kind of the winning formula. Now it varies from year to year slightly, depending on where you are and logistics and stuff. Like we had a gathering, I think 3 4 years ago, and part of it was on Clare Island. So you're talking about ferries and things, and getting out and getting back, and having enough accommodation for everybody. So sometimes you have to tailor events to suit where you're actually holding the gathering. But there is a winning formula there, and yeah, it seems to work. And it's all about organizing it then for a few months ahead of time and getting everything put together and getting everything in place, ready for June when it rolls around, you know. I don't know, is there anything you want to add to that, Brendan? Am I forgetting something? I'm probably forgetting something important. This is the view from the Sneem Hotel, by the way, out the back of me. This is not where I'm sitting right now, for anyone that
I've
Maybe
booked
Don,
that room.
just a quick word about Sneem as a place and the Ring of Kerry.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, Sneem. I'm not from Sneem. I'm actually from Limerick, but it's a place I visit regularly. A friend of mine, his ancestors are from there, so I got dragged into heading down there for a weekend one time. It's based in County Kerry, near Killarney, in the mountains, um, and it's on the shores of Kenmare Bay. It's a lovely scenic spot. Mountains to one side, sea to the other. Um, Nice little like it's actually located on the Ring of Kerry, a famous tourist route where you've other spots like Carsavine and Killarney, Kenmare. You've all these lovely little towns around the place, little fishing villages and historic sites as well. Then there's places like where Daniel O'Connell came from. Derrynane is a historic spot along the road there. You've places like Valentia Island, where the first transatlantic cable was laid from Ireland to North America. That's there only a short distance over the road from Sneem as well. So it's a lovely little spot, a nice scenic spot, and they're well used to catering for tourists. So we'll all be tourists down there because the Limerick O'Malley's be heading down there as tourists too. But we know the spot, and it's a lovely spot to visit.
Thank you so much, Don and Brandon. We're very, very much looking forward to the gathering. Um, to all of the, everyone on the Zoom, we really appreciate you, like being so patient and listening to us talk. But really, now we would like to hear you talk. If you don't mind, we'll take a few minutes and just ask for about five people just to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about your family history. Like I said, we should have more time at the end to hear a few more introductions. So is there anyone that would like to volunteer, or I will just start picking people? Yes, Diane.
Well, as I said when we started, I was adopted and I found out my biological family during COVID, believe it or not, and I am an O'Malley. My family immigrated somewhere in the 1870s here to the United States. We were from County Mayo. My great grandparent was a Patrick O'Malley, and my father was Joseph O'Malley, and it was just exciting because I ended up having sisters. I have like a full sister and half sisters. It's like all of a sudden I have this family and they're all around me here. I am living in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. I was born in Dunmore, Pennsylvania, up in the Scranton area where there's quite a few O'Malleys, and that's where my sisters are from. So it was just quite exciting for me to actually find my heritage, and then it's like I'm like thrilled about it. And I actually lived in England for a while and got to go to Ireland and all over, and so I was like just excited to be able to find out finally my heritage, and I'm just excited to see all of you and to know the O'Malley clan and to be more involved with this. So
Absolutely, we need you to be more involved, and I appreciate you mentioning that you're in Pennsylvania. We hope that as we continue this, we can encourage whoever is comfortable to get together to kind of get together in regional groups. Thank you so much, Diane. Is there anyone else that would like to give us a little bit of background and maybe a quick introduction?
Hi, Suzanne Maley. I live here in Rochester Hills. I live here in Rochester Hills, Michigan, which is northwest of Detroit. And I've been researching my family tree for the last, 30 years. The farthest back I've been able to go is about the mid 1800s in Scotland. My great, I don't know how many greats, grandfather is a William Maley, and he was married to a Mary Burke. And according to William Maley Jr., they were from Mayo County, but I have not found anything to say for sure, because the records in Glasgow, Scotland are, well, I can only go back so far at this point.
We all have those brick walls. Thank you so much for that information. Is there anyone else that would like to just unmute themselves and tell a little bit about your history?
Hi.
Yes, John, thank you so much.
Hi, thank you. I'll sound like the same, I guess. I'm John Van Dusen. I'm from the Boston area currently. Originally grew up in upstate New York. My paternal grandmother was Kathleen O'Malley, Geneva, New York. And her mother came from County Mayo, Mary White. And her grandfather came from County Mayo, Michael O'Malley. And the chapter, I hope, can help me break through a brick wall I've got. Nobody behind Michael O'Malley, when we get to the other side of the Atlantic. I can't trace it back further than his parents.
Thank you for that information. I am stuck at a Michael O'Malley as well. So we'll have to compare family trees. Anyone else? Peter. Love the shirt, by the way.
Yeah, I'm Pete Colgan, Gene Mackey of the Mackey-Tierney tribe from County Mayo. And I donned my St. Patty's Day tuxedo tonight for the occasion. My grandfather, another Michael O'Malley, hailed from Galway and came over, settled in New York, and managed to have 11 kids. So we had plenty of O'Malleys around. My father happened to be from Mayo and from Newport. So last year when the gathering was held in that area, I was hell-bent on getting over there. So I rallied the whole family that I could. And unfortunately, at the last minute, I had a health issue pop up, so I had to step out. But about 12 of them went over. So they had a wonderful time. They attempted to climb the mountain, Craig, and all was well. So this year we missed this one, more health, but we are aiming at next year's gathering. When I heard that Ms. Chambers was going to be doing some research on Grace, which of course, like every other O'Malley, hopes that they can trace their lineage back for bragging rights. I happen to have relatives over in Newport who are Chambers. So, all the stars were lining up to get over there because everybody was going to be there in one place. However, maybe next time. So next year we'll be there. So thanks for putting this together. It's very informative.
Oh, we could only do it because of your participation. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that information. I would love to hear more from each of you, but just to be respectful of everybody's time, we're going to go ahead and get started. Just a little bit more information. As I had mentioned, we are really hoping that this will be more of an organic group, and that we'll all kind of talk amongst ourselves and be able to in time meet at regional events, or even if we don't meet as a group, we at least want to be this forum. We want this to be a forum to let you know about regional events, and we also need you to let us know about regional events. So we just wanted to highlight a couple. One of them that is on the calendar is on Sunday, August 16th. I believe it's the largest Irish fest in the world. There's going to be a group of us, myself and whoever else would like to like to join me. We're going to be meeting between 11 and 11:30 right at the Milwaukee Irish Fest in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right in front of the Irish Community Services Chicago booth. If, you know, for some reason there's traffic or something and you can't make it kind of in between that window, then please join us. We're going to kind of make our way over to the Glen Castle Irish Dancers and we'll look for you there. A couple of other items, and like I said, we will send out this PowerPoint presentation as an attachment, but a couple of other things that we wanted to highlight. There is a dinner coming up in just about 2 weeks or so in Philadelphia. So if that, I know we have at least one participant that is from that area. You may want to check out that dinner if it's something that would be of interest to you. If we have any, there's several people from the West Coast at the gathering. So if we have any West Coast participants, and there is what looks like a phenomenal event called Rock the Gates, also in that kind of the August timeframe. You may want to check that out. And please let us know if you're planning on going. You know, maybe we can kind of spread the word. Sean is going to be at the Irish Festival in Maryland in November. So we'll talk about this again on our next meeting around September 1st. But just kind of, you know, put that on your calendar if you're interested in joining Sean and anybody else in that, you know, the kind of the East Coast in, you know, in mid-November. And then not only do this forum, we want to promote, you know, kind of those regional meetups. We also want to let you know about other online resources that, you know, if you're unable to travel, if you're not near any of these events, I would highly encourage you, once you receive this attachment, once you receive the PowerPoint presentation, check out some of the hyperlinks. I'm just going to kind of quickly click on this one if you want to get ready for for the gathering in Cary. Honestly, just take, you know, about 5 minutes and check out this. Sorry. So it just takes about 5 minutes and listen to this wonderful Irish music session in Cary, just to, you know, kind of get us all excited about the gathering in Cary. Besides the regional events, because a lot of us were brought to the clan through genealogy, we want to help each other, and as a means to that end, I wanted to highlight the newly released 1926 census. The 1926 census was just released about 2 months ago or so on April 18th. I'm not sure if anybody, you know, stayed up late or kind of logged in. I discovered actually it was released on April 17th because of the time change. So that was just terribly exciting. If you haven't checked out if you haven't checked out the 1926 census yet, I would highly encourage you to do that. I'm just going to briefly open the link. Brings us straight to the National Archives of Ireland. My earliest known ancestor was my great-grandfather was from Colfin. I, you know, just put in, kind of preloaded his information. Unfortunately, fortunately, by 1926, he was here in the United States. But I do show that his brother Patrick was living in Colfin along with his wife and then their children. What was specifically interesting to me personally when this 1926 census came out, is that this person, Mary, had traveled. I found her on a passenger log. She had traveled to Aurora, Illinois about 2 years, but so in like 1924. She stayed with my grandmother and helped the family after my great-grandmother died due to the Spanish influenza. So I wasn't sure, should I be looking for Mary in Illinois? Should I be looking for her in Ireland? Found out through the 1926 census that she was back in Ireland by that point. You may or may not be aware that there are 2 other censuses are available, the 1911 and 1901. And again, you can check both of those out by using this hyperlink. And then Family Search, it is run by the Church of Latter-day Saints, but it did put together a phenomenal video on YouTube that you may want to check out. It delves, I know, and I'm just kind of spending, you know, 1 minute talking about these important resources. But this video, it's about a 60-minute video that I found incredibly helpful as I was trying to navigate the 1926 census. It goes into much more information that is included on that census, and I hope that it helps you along with your genealogy journey. Maybe may not break down any brick walls, but at least can give you a little bit more context about your family. Are there any questions about these resources?
Kathy, just one point to make. This is Brendan. Morris Gleason, who's, as you mentioned, has done a lot of work with us and is our clan genealogist, has put together a page on genealogy. So on the website, there is a page, I think it's under Worldwide O'Malley's, where it lists all sorts of resources that are general and also for also ones that are more specific to O'Malley's. So if you're interested, do check that out.
Thank you very much to bring that up. We've included several hyperlinks, and at the end of the presentation, I'll go directly to the O'Malley Clan website. If you haven't been there in a while, I would encourage you either later tonight or tomorrow or maybe towards the weekend to spend time on the website. It's brand new. There is just an amazing amount of resources, including all that information that Brendan just mentioned about O'Malley's worldwide. And then stay tuned. We do have some other kind of special speakers that have agreed to kind of be part of this forum, and we're hoping to give you a lot more information about genealogy as specifically as it relates to DNA. Speaking of future meetings, so right after this meeting, you will receive a survey from Zoom. We've tentatively set up that our next meetings will be September 1st and December 1st. But certainly if, after you have a chance to fill out that Zoom, if the Zoom survey, if it seems like another day or another time would work out better, we're very open to changing the time, changing the date. But please, for now, mark those 2 dates on your email, on your calendar, and then we will make sure to email you the link, and we'll make sure to include you in any future communications. Also, please make sure to sign up for the clan newsletter. As Don mentioned, as our chieftain Don mentioned, he does a phenomenal job putting that together. There will be a section in each of the newsletters going forward where we're communicating valuable information to you. So please make sure to check that out. I had already mentioned the survey, but again, this is our inaugural Zoom. We need your input. We need you to be, to take a few minutes and fill out that survey and give us any and all, the good, the bad, the ugly, any and all feedback that you can. I had, before we kind of sign off, Brendan had just mentioned the website, absolutely tremendous resource. It is brand new. It does have a lot of information, and it's really good just to kind of take a deep dive when you can. I think that this perhaps is the area that Brendan was referring to. And yeah, you can see there's lots of links in here as well. Brendan, is there anything in particular that you would like me to highlight or that you would like to highlight?
Yes, you got it.
Okay. So here's O'Malley genealogy. Lots of really, no matter where you are in your path, I think with genealogy, we all need, refresher courses, and we all need to work together. So please check this page out when you have a chance on the O'Malley clan website. We had already mentioned this, sign up for the newsletter. Please keep in touch. If you'd like to email the clan directly, there we've listed the email address. If you would like to email the USA chapter, please use that email address as forms of communication. This is really just the start of kind of opening the lines of communication up between O'Malley clan members and non-members, really anybody that's an O'Malley parent, grandparent, great-grandparent. We want you, we want you all, no matter what your family history is. If you are finding a value to this forum, to these discussions, and you're not a member, please consider joining. We've tried to make it as easy as possible for you. You can just scan that QR code and it'll take you directly to the membership page. We are not going, we are not going to, be checking, your membership status or anything like that. You just join us whenever you can. But certainly, if you're unsure if you're a member or not, feel free to use that O'Malley Clan email address to kind of check your membership status. And if you are not a member, just consider joining. But you do not have to join. Joining does cost a price. It depends on how long you choose to become a member for. But with 1 year, about $22. I have to be honest with you. I was very, very kind of honest and upfront and told you, 7 years ago, I didn't even know who Grace O'Malley was. Well, I can tell you until about 3 days ago, I didn't even realize that we had an Instagram page. Yeah, that's Instagram. Yeah, we have an Instagram page. So Facebook, YouTube, the O'Malley Clan is on all of these platforms, plus maybe a couple more. And the content is, I'm very familiar with the content on Facebook or YouTube. There's just some really good content there that I would encourage you to check out. Specifically on YouTube, as I had mentioned, this meeting is being recorded. It will be posted on YouTube. So if there's anything that you want to go back and refer to, or if you want to share it with other family members that may not have been able to join tonight, please consider doing that. And again, just like, subscribe, follow. We need that interaction from you. I had said so we're trying to wrap up the meeting around 8:15 or so in about 15 minutes or so. If I'm understanding it correctly, I believe that the USA plays in the World Cup tonight, so we may be losing a few viewers because of that. But is there anyone else who would like to kind of jump in and give us a little bit more of your family history? We would love to hear that.
Hey, Kathy.
Yes.
Yeah, John Bouse.
Hi, John.
Hi. My grandfather was John O'Malley, and they all came from County Mayo. But at the dinner Friday night, I'm sitting next to a guy. We start talking, and I mentioned one of my ancestors. He jumped up and ran and got his cousin. He came back. They're just incredibly helpful. They gave me all kinds of leads. And then Sean O'Malley picked me up at our hotel and drove me around to some of the sites there in Westport. We sat down with a family that has done a lot of genealogy, and they showed me what they had found. Some of it was identical to what I had. So everybody was just really nice, and look forward to seeing them again. It was a great experience.
Hi, John. Lovely to see you, cousin.
I hear you. There you are.
It's Denise. Hi, John. How are you?
Yeah, we
Lovely
may
to
be
see
related.
you. Yeah. If we're not cousins, we were neighbors.
I think so.
Yes.
I can't stay up as late as you do, though.
No, it's just after 1 o'clock in the morning here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope neither of you mind if I mention this, but they just realized at the gathering that they are closely related. There's some tie there that they didn't know about 8 years ago or 8 days ago. So,
No.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you so much, John, for sharing. Would anyone else?
Hi, I'm Lorraine. I live near Annapolis, Maryland, although I grew up in Philadelphia, and that's where Peter O'Malley, Honora Judge O'Malley, and their 4 children arrived in December of 1848 from Westport. And so I convinced 10 of my family members to join me to go to our first rally in 2006. And I just realized it's 20 years ago. Oh my goodness. And then we went back again in 2008 because in those days they were every other year. And all I can say is it was wonderful. I didn't know anybody there, and I felt like I was in a family wedding. Big social gathering of all these people that some of whom actually looked like others of my family. So I highly recommend it.
Lorraine, thank you so much. I apologize. I think Lorraine, you were one of the people that
Yes.
I messed up the time. So I really would double
There were
thank.
4 of us who started meeting each other at 6 o'clock this evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your understanding, for hanging in with us. It's much appreciated. We would love to, we do have a few more minutes. Is anyone
Kathleen?
else want to jump in?
Yeah, Kathleen, my name is Kevin O'Malley. I'm sorry that I was late getting to this meeting, but I will add that my grandparents, Michael and Elizabeth O'Malley, emigrated from Westport in 1910. I had a chance to live in Ireland for several years and spent a lot of time back in Westport. And it was a much prettier city now than it was when my folks left.
Thank you so much. We're just appreciative that you joined tonight, no matter what time you join. And
Sorry.
yeah, no. Hopefully, we'll see you again on September 1st. So.
Kathleen,
Yes.
can I just pop in there with a question for Kevin? Kevin, just out of curiosity, when you were living in Ireland for a few years, would that have been in Dublin?
It would have been in Dublin.
Ah, yeah, in the Phoenix Park, no?
It would have been in the Phoenix Park.
I thought I recognized you all right.
Yeah.
Very good. Thanks for coming.
It's nice to be a part of the deal. I'm just sorry that I was late arriving, but I get back to Ireland 3 or 4 times a year now. It's it's a wonderful place to visit.
Just for those who don't know, Kevin would have been the American ambassador to Ireland, and his residence would be in the Phoenix Park, and that's why the reference was made.
Okay.
That's a little code. It's a nice little house in the middle of Phoenix Park. Yeah.
Indeed.
A nice little cottage. Yeah.
I wrote to the State Department is huge on cables. They like that's a sign of status that you can send cables. And I only sent one my entire time as U.S. ambassador, and I sent it to President Obama the night I arrived. And I remember exactly what I said, and it was POTUS, housing adequate, O'Malley.
Excellent.
I'm sure he had a good chuckle at that.
He'd been there before, so he understood what it was.
Kevin, this is Brendan. I recall meeting you on one occasion in UL. You were opening an exhibition, and we met briefly afterwards. And I said, "Oh, hi, Kevin. I have a son called Kevin," and you immediately retorted that you had a son called Brendan. And I think it sums up the fact that the O'Malleys, for all of our genius at many different things, any bit of imagination for Christian names has entirely escaped us. At my gathering in 2019, we had 5 Michael O'Malleys.
Yeah, and my dad was one of those. Yeah.
I think we just get the spelling down on something and then just don't want to deviate too much.
That's it.
I combine both the Kevin and the Brendan in my name. Cormac, Kevin Brendan O'Malley.
And that's my son is actually Kevin Brendan O'Malley.
Oh dear.
I rest my case.
Yeah, right. We just learn how to spell it and then don't change after that. I gave a talk at the Royal College of Surgeons one night, and there were a number of Kevin O'Malleys there, and the official photographer gathered all of us together and took one picture of Kevin O'Malley's.
Ah, nice.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate everybody that joined us tonight and that they felt comfortable sharing their history. We hope that this has been, an hour well spent, but please keep in touch with us. If there's ever, anything that we can do for you, that we can, that you would like us to talk about. I had mentioned that the survey will be coming out shortly after this meeting. We want to hear from you. We need your input, and we're absolutely willing to kind of continue having open lines of communication and doing everything that we can to promote our clan association and our shared family history. The in any other comments or any other questions? Anything we can address? In recognition that the United States recently celebrated its 250th anniversary, and also in recognition that literally tens of thousands of Irish immigrants fought for our independence, Cormac was kind enough to share with us a particular website. It's called IrishAmerica250.org. I would highly recommend that you check this out. And then to end tonight's meeting, I'm just going to kind of hit play for a poem that generally poetry does not speak to me, but I think that this one, with the combination of our shared Irish history and our country recently celebrating the 250th anniversary of our establishment, I hope that you enjoy this poem. Everybody has a wonderful rest of your evening, and we look forward to seeing you on September 1st.
Can I add one comment, which is
yes.
I hope at the next time we will have the opportunity to explore what films have been made or might be made for Granuaile, particularly in relationship to her 500th anniversary, which is coming up in 2030.
Thank you. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you guys very, very much for your time. And we look forward to being in touch.
Well done. Hey, Katie and John, well done.
Well done, Kathy. Well done, Cormac. Well done, Sean.
Thank you.
America, which was commissioned as part of the celebration of the Declaration of Independence 250 years ago, to highlight the contributions the Irish have made to this country. On that July 4th, we too were there, deeply braided in this country's weave. Through 250 years, we now can share pride in all our crowd came to achieve. Rising from outside demi-monde, toast how children's children would in turn journey to acceptance and beyond, dreams for which our forebears had to yearn. Yes, we know the turns of fortune's wheel, pains and glory of our slow ascent, misbegotten moons of dark O'Neill, famine's great-grandson, a president, vibrant weft in our new world's brocade, honor now what role our people played. Some 200,000, maybe more, curbed by penal laws or Anne's Test Act, fled our island high-tier years before colonists at Lexington attacked, firing shots that rang the world around, bent on independence they had lacked. Some of ours recruits still duty-bound to the British troops, but few compared with our early settlers who had found Catholic and dissenter both here shared common ground in fighting England's Anne. We salute our heroes, those who dared, Generals John Stark and Sullivan, Mulligan, New York's shrewd Taylor Mole, Commodore John Barry, Wexford man. England's Parliament learned of our role. There America was lost to emigrants. We now share this country's restless soul. From Portrush, Belfast, Newry, or Coleraine, weary of the established church disdain, Ulster's Presbyterians we'll sail, seek religious freedom's holy grail. Dream through dangerous months at sea of where we, a border folk with blitz warfare in our genes, will settle buffer zones. Here, too, in our bones, we'll obey our leaders, but we spurn all aristocrats who also then in turn brand us as rednecks or as white trash. Stubborn, self-reliant, seldom rash, we are Wilsons, Smiths, Montgomerys, Adams, Webbs, Buchanans, McAfees. Feeling in New England we intrude, first in Philadelphia, but imbued with a warrior competitiveness. It's the wagon road, the wilderness road. We'll push them south and west from Virginia on our tireless quest. We will be the frontiersmen who are bred to use a gun. Aggressively we'll spread Carolinas, Georgia, Tennessee, route the Choctaw Creek and Cherokee. Fighting Red Sticks are Brits at New Orleans. Orphaned Jackson, soldier in his teens, warring hero with populist descent, our first Democratic president, privileged curber, counselor of debt, savior of the Union, yes, and yet brutal driver of the Trail of Tears. In the South, we Ulstermen become, over time, strong Baptists, also some Methodists, who too will understand we'll be the keepers of this Bible land. Even now our kirk and frontier kind still will hew a southern cast of mind. Come Black 47's tuber blight, starving and evicted, hollow-eyed, crammed in ships' sick holes a million pain, hoping for no more than to survive. In New York or Boston most remain, better squalor than that fickle soil. Who would trust to crops that so betray? By design or by default we stay to endure the poverty and toil, nursing fears such famines still ingrain. Here the lucky millions still alive, Micks and Bridget's nativists nickname, shanty Irish wasps and snobs deride, in slum tenements, a living plight. So God be with the failed Potato Ridge. We'll dig the subways, build the Brooklyn Bridge. We'll shovel and we'll swing the pick and axe. We'll cut canals or lay the railroad tracks. We'll be the city's fireman or the cop. In craft unions back, the tight-closed shop. Young single girls as maids will find their feet, work for the Boston or New York heat, who otherwise would never wish to mix with immigrants who are Irish Catholics. In parishes, a counter-world where we'll create again a village life and feel. Nuns will see the seeds of welfare sown, build schools and hospitals first for their own. The priests run dances in the parish hall, while we'll seek the old stock's slow downfall. The bosses and ward healers, the machine, whose good turns in saloons or the shebeen will garner votes. And so will circumvent the decimals of the establishment and induce a mindset out of date to let all immigrants now integrate. Then when the age of Tammany Hall is gone, we'll enter the professions and move on. In all fields our gifts and not our bag. Mayors, governors, those who move and shake, presidents seek Irish lineage. kinships though far back and now opaque. What once signal common immigrant has become a take for granted name. Ministry now secure and confident, ours are roots that millions want to claim. Watch with joy the bright screen's credits scroll. Cagney, Clooney, Kelly, Power, O'Brien. On they come to snatch a title role, Neeson, Brosnan, Ronan, Farrell Ryan. Woven in this history's dreamscape, celebrate a land that we still shape.
How incredibly moving.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you all for joining. It's truly, truly appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you again. We hope that you enjoy the rest of the evening. And yeah, and really, really appreciate everybody kind of jumping on tonight. So any other questions, any parting thoughts or words?
Well, we hope America wins over the US, over the Belgium. We're down 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Good. Thank you, Cormac. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Don and Brendan
right.
and Denise. You guys they're the
Time for bed, Kathy.
You earned it.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Time for bed.
Thank
I'll head
you.
off. I'll see you at the next one, okay? If not before then.
Okay.
Grand.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
million.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Kathy. And thanks, Sean and Cormac. Great stuff. Thanks a million.
Thank you. Bye,
Good night.
Patrice. Bye, Maria.
Bye.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you for putting this together, Kathy.
Of course. Yes, of course. Yeah. Thoroughly enjoyable. Yeah. Okay. Good night.
Night,
See you,
everyone.
Kathy. Sean, that was well done.
Thanks, Cormac. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks to you and Cormac. Thanks for both of your help.
Thank you.
Tremendous.
And Patrice, we'll hear from you next time.
Okay.